Hello, everybody. It's Laura Susan Johnson doing more on camera movie reviews as well as I promised myself, anyway. So I was gonna do Frozen. I was all dressed up for it, but I just per just I ran into a movie on YouTube for free, and I'm in the middle of writing my third book, like I have been for the past, year and a half now. Michael Biehn, favorite actor of mine, is one of the muses for one of my main characters in this third book. So I watched this movie, Hog Wild. I guess all actors have to pay their dues before they make it big. Thank you, James Cameron, for giving Michael Biehn a career. Thank you. Thank you, Almighty Cameron. I guess that's blasphemy, but really, Cameron, thank you, because this is Hog Wild, 1980. That awkward period, when decades are trying to die. That switching over from one decade to the next. I remember the year 1990. It's funny, when you're younger, it seems like time is so slow. It passes slowly when you're younger. I remember 1990. Just, New Year's 1990. I was happy, 20 years old. They said, in celebration of, 1990, we're going to play a retro track from 1980. Here's Fame. And I said, God, that's old. It's from 10 years ago. That wasn't that long ago. But it sounded so fucking old. And looking back at 2006 from 2016, that's like a snap. That's like this, that's nothing. But when you're a 20-year-old looking back at from 1990 to 1980, it's like, what the fuck was that? What was that period where the 70s were trying to croak and the 80s were just that very early period of the 80s where it was, the only unique part of the 70s was punk and early new wave, which was spawned from punk, really. But the 70s with the disco and the roller fucking skates and the nasty knee-high socks, the white ones with the ugly fucking stripes, and the ugly hairdos and the cheesy ass acting. This movie is just, oh, Michael Biehn, you poor thing, you. He's like, he plays this toe-headed kid. I'll just call him Towhead because I can't remember his name. He's got I guess a girlfriend. She's brunette. Most of the cast are like gone and forgotten. It's like the Warriors. A lot of the cast, a few of them made it to bigger and better things, but most of them just faded it into obscurity. This movie reminds me of a cross between Midnight Madness and fuck, I don't know. Not Easy Rider, that's for sure. Wild Hogs? I mean, this one is called Hog Wild. Wild Hogs with John Travolta not too many years ago. Whatever, I never saw it, but I mean, what can I compare this movie to? It's a motorcycle screwball comedy. And it's fucking stupid. It's just bollocks, really. I mean, Michael Biehn is this one pretty blonde, okay? And he's really pretty. A pretty little blonde. He's always been a pretty little blonde. Even before James Cameron turned him into this awesome, kick-ass, badass bitch. You know, who can act. Not just a pretty little blonde. You know, if I want to see him as a pretty little blonde, I want to see the Saint Sebastian movie. I mean, I want to see that like my next breath. But I can't find it anywhere. So anyway, Hog Wild. Pretty little blonde towhead hangs out with these fucking nerds. I mean, just the geekiest, dorkiest. Where's all the other pretties? You know, his girlfriend's, you know, okay, brunette, nice, you know, not much personality allowed to be shown. But then again, Michael Biehn's personality is practically, you could write it down on a piece of paper the size of a postage stamp. I mean, they don't allow him to be funny. You know, most of his friends are sort of funny-ish. But every time there's a comedy scene, he's omitted. I mean, one friend, you know, you see him do something funny. They go to the next friend. He's doing something funny. The next friend's doing something funny. And Biehn, he's just totally, like, not in the scene anymore. I mean, they omit him. He drives this really kind of cool jalopy, like a yellow, classic yellow car that looks like it was made maybe in the 40s or the 20s or the 30s, somewhere in there. I'm not a car buff, I don't know. But it could have been in American Graffiti. He gets expelled from military school because some chick, I guess, okay, a few floors up, this guy spent the night with his chick, and that's against the rules in military school. You know, in the morning, get up, everybody, it's time to get up and get your chow and let's go. You know, that's military school. Well, the chick climbs out the window on sheets tied together, and Biehn happens to be, you know, getting up and getting ready to, you know, go to breakfast, and he sees the chick hanging out the window. Her boyfriend's up there somewhere, helping her out the window through. I mean, how many floors down? She's going to fall and kill herself, so he helps her into his room. Biehn does. And so fucking ridiculous. The girl ends up in Bean's room, and then suddenly some hard ass comes walking in and catches the girl in Bean's room like they've had sex or something. You know, like he's just been caught red-handed having sex with some chick. So he's expelled, and he has to go back to his regular school, you know, his hometown. And his dad's pissed at him. No explanation offered. You know, the other guy doesn't get expelled that I know of. The girl doesn't seem to offer any explanation. Like, hey, I was coming from like 4 floors up. Nothing like that I was aware of. Unless I was so dumbfounded that I just completely missed the dialogue. Fuck, I don't know. All I know is Biehn returns to his wherever the hell it is. It could be here in Arkansas. That's what the landscape looked like. And the people acted like a bunch of hicks for the most part. He's back with his nerdy friends in school. And there's a bunch of motorcycle hog riders, a hog gang called the Rustlers. They're headed by this dude named Bull who mumbles like a fucking idiot. And he has this guy translating for him. He has this girlfriend who's played by Patty Darbinville. Michael Biehn, Patty Darbinville, and a young Matt. Is it Matt Frewer? I think it's Matt Frewer. I think it's the Matt from Matt Frewer. No, it's not Matt Frewer. Matt Frewer was in Honey, I Shrunk the Dick. Damn it! It was the guy who was in Crimson Tide. It wasn't Matt Frewer though. I get those two mixed up all the time. Anyway, he was amusing. He was playing some character who obviously inspired Dr. Claw or was inspired by Captain Hook. He has some kind of prosthetic tool on one of his hands, and he's always grabbing people. Anyway, these motorcycle dudes are bullies. And they're bullying every kid in town, and they start bullying on Towhead Michael Biehn. Michael Biehn isn't going to, and it's good. I don't want Michael Biehn to do like hijinks because that's not him. He's not that type. He can be funny, but it has to be deadpan. I think that would be the best way. It has to be kind of a clever, sly funny. And I think he gets to do that maybe once or twice tops in this movie. It's mostly a fucking bore. But he just sits there and he's just like, he refuses to he refuses to let these stupid or what do they call? The rustlers. He refuses to let them intimidate him. He just sits there very stoically and he just kind of, oh, you're throwing food at me. Oh, you're smearing food in my hair. Oh, you're dumping food all over my clothing. Okay. It's like he doesn't give a shit what they do. He is mad, but he just doesn't show it, which is good, but somehow they don't get the hint. Realistically, when you ignore them, you're not giving them the attention they want, and so they fuck off after a while. But the Rastlers don't seem to get it. They're too retarded and inbred, I guess. I did get really I did get a little bit of a chuckle when I really thought he did it on purpose too. When Towhead takes his yellow jalopy and backs into the bikes and just throws them over like dominoes, but he's like, "Oh shit," and that gave me a good little chuckle. But like I said, these little funny moments from Michael Biehn are too few and far between. He has that one girlfriend, but like I said, no personality allowed to be seen. A couple of little smoochy scenes between the two of them, but no meaningful conversation. You don't know what she's like. You don't know what she's gonna do with her life. You don't know what kind of things she's into or interested in. Nothing. Just a bland. His dad, in my opinion, is an asshole. Michael Biehn is talking to his dad as soon as he gets expelled. Excuse me, and it was just a girl, and I wasn't doing anything with her. She was climbing out a window, and she just happened to land in my room, and it was just a girl. At least it wasn't a guy. Now, I'm going to give that a pass, I guess. It was 1980. It wasn't 2000. It wasn't 2010. It wasn't 2016. That wouldn't fly today. That's kind of, it seems a little homophobic. What pissed me off about his dad was he broke a cue stick over Michael Bihn's back. And that was abusive. I mean, that was just straight up abuse. And Michael Bihn's like, why did you do that? And he's like, never turn your back on anybody. It's like, not even your own dad? You're a dick. I mean, it's just really must be a sign of the times. I don't want to hear any shit about, oh, don't, he's a pussy if he can't take that. Ah, fuck off. Don't even say shit like that to me. I don't like child abuse. And he is a high school kid in the movie. He's portraying one. So anyway, he starts to have the hots for Patty D'Arbanville, who is Bull's girlfriend. I don't know what she's, why would Bull have a girlfriend? He can't even talk. He's like he is a bull. He's like a bull he's a bull stuck in a human's body. He has to have this other dude, whoever that other dude is, translate for him. He just mumbles like I don't know, never mind, but he falls in love with D'Arbanville and steals her clothes while she's skinny dipping. That's kind of a dick move. And then I guess she decides to break up with Bull at one point. I don't know why. She's just as mean to Michael Biehn as Bull is, but at one point she just decides, oh well, I think we've all been dicks long enough, and I think I like the guy now, so I'll break up with you and go sit by myself somewhere. I guess there's some honey festival coming to town, so she goes and sits near this pot of, it looks more like churned buttermilk. It's not honey. And Michael Biehn comes, he just happens to amble along and, oh, are you okay? And she's sitting there in some little cute little outfit, and they talk for a little while, and I guess he throws her into that pot of honey, and the texture just tells me, bollocks, that ain't honey. It's too creamy and not watery, but it's milky. It's like honey and milk, if anything, or just plain buttermilk. It's not honey. Honey is the stickiest, most messiest, most disgusting. Who the hell would want to make out in honey? Are you fucking nuts? Get all kinds of fucking infections after that. The land of honey. No way. That was not honey. That was the stupidest scene in the movie, really. I mean, you didn't see anything, but it just, no one fucks in honey. You'd have less headache fucking in peanut butter, and that's not even good. So anyway, it's just this. It's mostly bland. The hijinks are stupid. The comedy is lackluster. The characters are unfunny nerds, retarded bikers, and poor towhead Michael Biehn, and pretty decent actress D'Arbanville is in there, and this teacher who's doing weird things with students. Nothing like that would fly today. It's a very outdated, very bland, very forgettable comedy. It's really not that long. It's, I would say, maybe 80-90 minutes. It's not a huge waster of your time. I really watched it just to see Michael Biehn as a very young person. It's about 4 years before James Cameron came along. Salvation at last, Thank you, James Cameron. Once again, I thank you for being born. So yeah, I'd say this out of a 10, this one gets a good solid 2. I don't recommend it unless you're just really dying to see Michael Biehn or Patty Darbanville or uh, the guy from Crimson Tide who plays Dr. Claw or Captain Hook or whatever you want to call him. I'm really sorry, sir. I just cannot remember your name. I know you're not Matt Frewer. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But Matt Frewer, I could have sworn, was the Rick Moranis's mean neighbor in Honey, I Shrunk the Dick. So anyway, this is Laura Susan Johnson signing off. Till next time. Bye bye.